conducted formal inquiries into the sinking. Nevertheless, the story of the sinking of Titanic is something that people from around the world cannot help but be drawn to. Unequivocally, Titanic is the most famous shipwreck in the world. For most of my adult life, I've worked as a professional diver and have been diving shipwrecks almost all of that time. As a free-swimming scuba and rebreather diver, I had visited some of the most legendary wrecks within the reach of the technology of the day. I have had over 150 dives on the Andrea Doria, dived to the Lusitania, located off the coast of Ireland, and been to the sister ship of Titanic, the Britannic, lost near the island of Kea in Greece. The wrecks I had dived were hundreds of feet deep, while Titanic was thousands of feet deep. The difference in depth was symbolic of the difference in cultural significance. Titanic was in a class far beyond anything I have ever experienced. It would be impossible for anyone who considered themselves a wreck diver not to dream about one day diving in a submersible to Titanic. In 2005, I had the opportunity of a lifetime to dive the Titanic. I was already working on programs for television with diving partner Richie Kohler and Lone Wolf documentary group producer Kirk Wolfinger. When I was approached with the program idea on Titanic, I immediately went to Kirk and Richie. We were going to Titanic. It was a business opportunity, but more than that, it was a chance to visit the most famous shipwreck in the world. Given this opportunity, how could my life stay the same? And how could I not dream of perhaps contributing something to the cumulative knowledge of Titanic? To prepare for our expedition, I needed to know everything I could about Titanic, including her construction, her history, the sinking, and the legend. In the beginning, I probably knew as much as anyone with an interest in maritime history. As a young man, I had read the classic A Night to Remember by Walter Lord, and had seen the black and white film made from the book many times, at least as many times as I had seen Jim Cameron's well-done blockbuster. I had seen several documentaries and read books relating to the discovery of the wreck of Titanic as well. I thought I already knew quite a bit about Titanic. Then, a friend recommended I read Win Craig Wade's Titanic, End of a Dream, and told me that if I was to read only one book on Titanic, it should be this book. I thought this was rather presumptuous, considering that the book was out of print, more than 20 years old, and there were so many other recent writings with the benefit of all that modern explorers could contribute. I approached reading End of a Dream as a work assignment, and certainly had to take into consideration when the book was written and the information available to the author at the time. I could not have been more surprised at what I found. I did not read anything prior to, or anything since, that was able to convey to the reader the meaning of Titanic. I found Win's writing to be engaging and endearing, but the thing that really made this book stand out was how it was able to translate the human emotions of the Titanic sinking into modern culture. Win was able to convey what Titanic, and more importantly, the sinking of Titanic, meant to the people of that time. If we cannot understand the impact of Titanic on the world of 1912, how can we possibly understand how Titanic integrates into our culture and thinking today? Titanic was truly a community afloat, with everything you might find in a small city, including a government, social classes, and a sense of forward progress. As Titanic left the dock, she was almost a caricature of herself. The appropriately named ship was symbolic of the dreams and expectations of the men, women, and children in 1912 prior to World War I. As they looked ahead at the brave new world they were building, Titanic reflected who they were. For me, how could I explore Titanic and not actually understand Titanic? All of the modern controversies relating to metallurgy, the recovery of artifacts, competing explorers, and the natural compression of the wreck, all are irrelevant unless they are viewed in the context of what Titanic is. This is how Win saw Titanic, in terms of real meaning and context. His book not